Deepak bhai, we'll come back home. We'll come back to Boston Gymkhana Sports Club. Right? You've been playing for the club for 22 years. You are a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
What's Boston Gymkhana Sports Club का impact आप पे क्या रहा है as an individual?
Sure. So I think BGSC. I think very correctly you said it's a sports club, and again I think I just want to make it very clear. BGSC stands for Boston Gymkhana Sports Club. On purpose, we never introduced the letter C, Cricket Club. So again, I think what it means to me or impact. Of course, I think I enjoyed playing for more than 2 decades, right? And I played majority of my cricket in Division One, and as we were growing as a club
Sure.
and number of divisions, right? We always made the room for young blood and youngsters and also better cricketers, right, to start playing in higher division. So from a cricketing aspect, I think I enjoyed, and again, somewhere you start knowing your what you call strength or your
बिल्कुल.
forte, right? And I started, mainly, as an all-rounder. But I can, if you ask me, for last 5-7 years, I'm very focused on my bowling because I know that's where I add value. So
बिल्कुल.
again, I think BGSC allowed me because I play a different role now in the team I play versus 10 years back I was playing. So my cricket aspect, great experience, great journey, a lot of ups and downs, but I think that's all good. But real impact on me,
जी.
uh, because I think I'm aging with the club. So because flashback 22 years, I was in early 30s or just 30. Yeah, 30 to be precise, 31. So really, I think I've made some great friends, and those friends are more as family. And again, it's just
बिल्कुल.
not just for the sake of it. I'm saying our kids were born at the same time, and we have grown together. So I think
बिल्कुल.
that's very, like, you cannot put any value on that. And
बिल्कुल.
there's a lot of cricket. Uh, Sometimes you feel that, oh, you're not really aligned with the thought process. It happens even within your team or club. But I
Sure.
think I'm not going to give up that, because I think cricket I can still play, but I'm not going to get the same friends and family outside BGSC, because the last 20 years I think it's not going to come back. So I think that's the impact has made on me, on my immediate family, on my kid. And I think I expect the same thing from some of my other friends, because I think we are all in this together. So I think that's the major impact. And I just can't leave it for anything.
बिल्कुल. No, I agree. And you've been with the club for 22 years. I've played for the club for 6 years, right? I've moved to Dallas, but I'm still in touch. I'm still talking to, I'm still talk to people.
Yeah.
I've made good friends. So I can totally see where you're coming from. Deepak bhai, so there's a big event that is coming up in the club, Boston Gymkhana Premier League, which is going to happen over the next few weekends. So let's maybe talk about that. I'll give a quick introduction, right? Like, there was actually a exciting auction process that happened. There are 6 teams, 3 BGSC teams, 3 teams outside,
Correct.
and then top 4 teams will play semifinals and then finals.
Right.
You are part of Oxford Knights, and just to कल दिलीप भाई से बात कर रहा था, I just told him that my first game was in 2015. I played, my first match was Oxford Knights. So I want to just tell you that I am going to support you all the way in
Here we go.
Oxford Knights.
Nice.
uh, but I'm just looking at the structure, right? एक interesting चीज है दीपक भाई, like I am looking, like, there are owners. The owner of Oxford Knight is Binu ji, right? The mentor is Satya bhai. The director of cricket is Shruti, and obviously there is the whole squad. So
Sure.
we've even brought in our the ladies of the club into BGPL. So do you want to just talk about that a little bit?
Sure. So I think the primary reason of getting the ladies involved, I think that's the women power, right? And when we say women power, I think it's just not just for sake of it. Uh,
Yeah.
the underlying reason for this, once we have ladies involved, and ladies can be like their spouses or even daughters or whatever, your
Sure.
significant other. Let's put it this way.
Sure. Yeah.
Uh, Once they are involved in the club activities, event, everything is very nicely well-oiled machine.
True.
Because I think, because if suppose I want to participate in BGPL or I want to play cricket, and if my wife, she is not involved, right? I'm not saying like she has to play cricket and spend
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
8 hours, but if she's not involved with the club, and BGPL is a very good example, she will be disconnected. She won't have the same bond. So I think that's one of the primary reason, having for example, Binu as the owner of Oxford Knights, and having Shalini as owner of Spartans, and then I think Deepika is owner of
Yeah.
uh, uh,
Avengers.
so I think because we want them to get involved, and just not for the name tag, and
Bilkul.
they are really bringing the guys together, making sure there are some social events to be planned.
Yeah.
They want to make sure that, okay, cricket, yes, there are cricketers, right? Captain, vice captain, they can look about the roster, but there are a lot of other things. uh, I mentioned about social event, but every game, as Kamal, you have played for a number of years, we always have food.
Yes.
After the game, we are going to sit down, have the guest, have the food, and we are going to have a good time. So ladies make sure that, okay, are we going to have sufficient food? What are the items, right? So all those things, and then they are going to be also driving some of the other activities, like how we can do something better for the community, right? Because I can
Bilkul.
only see this much, because
Yep.
we all have our focus, right? But
Yep.
when we involved the our better halves, I think they might be thinking something which I have no idea. So I think
Bilkul.
that's the main reason, and I think having ladies involved, once they are there, I think our backbone is very strong. As soon as we don't have their support, I've seen over the years during the season, the guys said, "Oh, something is not working out at home for any reason." But if the spouse is dialed in, never happens. So yeah. So,
Yep.
anyways, that's my thinking on this. So
No, it's great, right, to have the ladies involved. And I was, when I first saw it, I was like, that's really nice, because I mean, we've when I was there, we've even had like uh cricket matches for the ladies. We've tried to do a lot of things, and we continue to do that. So this is just an extension of what we've been doing, right, over years as a club. That's great. Deepak bhai, we talked about auction.
yeah,
So I just want to know कि ऐसा कोई player था that काफी bidding हुई auction वगैरह में?
sure. So I think bidding was really very much focused, because we have a pool of new players or rookies.
Yeah.
They are all uncapped.
Yeah.
They have not been assigned to any of the BGSC team. We have 6 teams. I think I was very, very keen and interested for that part of auction. And
Okay.
the best part was all the pool of new players are equally divided. So, answer to your question, whether there was any particular individuals or BGSC players they went for high stakes from Oxford Knights, I think the answer is no. The reason is we made a rule kind of that to make the auction a little bit more efficient. For every round, for example, whether it's A, B, C, D, whatever our teams are, every those three BGPL teams are going to get to pick one free player. Like, we don't have to bid, but that only based on the draw. So we were lucky when it came to Team E, and Team E former captain Ashish Wadhwa. I think he's a very good friend of yours. Oxford Knights, we were number one, like to pick, and no brainer, unanimous decision. We just picked Ashish Vadva. So clearly, you ask like, okay, have we spent hefty dollars against any player? The answer is no. But I think I cannot put amount next to Ashish. I think he's great. He's priceless, and I think he adds a lot of value. So I think we were very lucky to have him on our roster.
प्राइसलेस तो है, वो मैं मानता हूँ, ठीक है, बट
I
फ्री
said,
में मिला आपको, फ्री में मिला आपको, ये बिडिंग में भी नहीं लिया आपने इसको, क्या आशीष, अब कोई बात नहीं, बढ़िया है, बट दीपक भाई, I've told you, like my loyalty stays with Oxford Knight for reasons, right? I am just looking at your team. मेरा एक advice है, right?
huh,
If you want to, from a cricketing point of view, if you want to win the match, whether you are batting first, bowling first, you have one guy called Sean Higgins. I think you
mm,
need to open with this guy, whether you're batting or bowling. And I don't think the opposition has any chance. So that's just my 2 cents,
yeah,
for the games. But Sean is great. He's a
yeah,
good friend of mine.
very
So
good, very good. So again, I think you mentioned about Sean. So we bidded for Sean,
oh, nice.
right? So
So
we
you
spent
एक minute. So you bid it for Sean, but
Sean.
you got Ashish for free. Just I want to just put it out
Yes, yes, no, no. That's good clarification. We bid it. We spent some dollars, and primary reason for me to have Sean on Oxford Knight roster, he makes best baby back ribs,
there. Ah,
and he has
nice.
shared the recipe with me. You can't beat those ribs the way he makes, and he feels very proud. And again, I think he's a great club guy. Uh, and again, I think whatever he can do on the cricket field, that's fine. But I think
Absolutely.
he really adds more than just cricket. So
Yeah. Oh, I agree. And he's fun to be around. I know that.
yeah,
I spent time with him. I will move on.
yeah.
IPL is on. IPL चल रही है. You cannot ignore the beast, right? Are you supporting any team or are you a freelancer?
Right. So I think I'm more of a freelancer. Again, I really I cannot like name one team or maybe a couple of teams. I just enjoy good cricket, especially
Bilkul.
IPL. Every game is great matchup. So I think I don't have really my favorite team, or maybe like say my hometown in India is New Delhi, so Delhi capital. Not really. Of course, if Delhi Capital is playing, I'm going to watch the game, if time
Absolutely.
permits.
Yeah.
But I just want to have a good game. So
Yeah. Good thought process. I am from Mumbai, but I fully support MI. They're not doing well. I am not feeling good about that. But anyways, we'll
yes,
not get into that. But Deepak bhai, 270. There are the दो matches में दो सत्तर हो गए.
yeah,
What's your thought on such high scoring matches?
sure. So number of factors, right?
Hmm.
First of all, I think we have seen game after game and year after year in IPL or even T20. I think fearless approach. So
Huh.
that's just on the approach, right? I know it's
Bilkul.
easy said than done that, yes, like go, just express yourself, play, but it also takes time. So now where we are in 24, a guy walks in and ball one, if the ball is in his zone, and the zone can be, it's
Yeah.
very, very subjective, right? For you, something will be different, for me, something different. They just play fearless cricket. So that's on the approach. So normally average is now around 180, 85
Yeah.
average, right?
Yeah.
It's not even par. You score 200 like today. I know
Yeah.
this.
Match.
I
Match.
think
Yeah. Yeah.
they won chasing 199. So
Yeah.
that's one thing. But I think those two games, the other main reason is belter of the wicket. So I
Bilkul.
think it's so tailor made for batting, right? There is nothing, no juice in the wicket, or even some uncertainty, right? So
Bilkul.
batsmen, couple of balls, and they are professionals, right? So
Yeah.
once you see
True.
there is there is no movement, no lateral movement. Forget about any like swing and all. Then it's a net practice for them. And again, they just hit through the line. So I think combination of both things for sure: approach, and then the wicket, and then I think a lot of practice. It looks very easy on TV, right? But I think these guys must be putting lots and lots of hard work to play those shots. So
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. So interesting you say all this, right? दो बाउंसर का रूल जो नया है, which has been introduced in 2024, how does that factor in with such high scoring games, and do you think that is a good idea
yeah,
for T20 cricket?
sure. So I will answer your second question. I think it's a great idea.
Yep.
Because clearly T20 is a better game, totally
Yep.
batting dominant, right? So I
Yep.
think it's a very good change. At
Yeah.
least they are giving something to the bowler
The bowler.
or
Yeah.
the fielding team captain to think
Yeah.
about, right? So I think that's a good change because it brings a little bit of doubt in mind of the batter.
बिल्कुल
Now, answer to your question, like, okay, but still, I think scores are going more and more and more, right? The reason is again execution, right?
बिल्कुल
I think it all comes down to, like the rules are the same, I mean, for both teams, but one team, if they can execute better, even using those two bouncers in a given over, I think they will do better. So I think just having two bouncers, but if you are bowling, short and wide and this and that, I think it's not going to help. So, but yes, in nutshell, two bouncers gives the bowler that much of,
something. Yeah.
yeah. So
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल. No, I agree, it is a great rule. कुछ तो है. I mean, and we've seen some bowlers actually use it, against some really good batsmen. ऐसा नहीं है कि we've seen executions, right? Again, to your point, the margins are so small in this
right,
game. थोड़ा भी इधर 19-20 होता है, you will go for runs, but at least there is something. So I think I agree, it's a great
mhm,
initiative.
right,
But before we wrap up, we've talked about BGPL. What's your message for the other 5 teams that are participating in BGPL?
sure. So first, I will talk about the three BGSC team:
Yeah,
Spartans, Avengers, and Oxford Knights. I think we we were having this BGPL starting from 2011, if I'm not mistaken. Our
yeah,
last BGPL was in 2018. Clearly, there were various reasons, and then last couple of years post COVID also, it was
sure.
not feasible. So I think my first message is for these three BGSC teams that hey, we have to make this a successful event. And I know there's a lot of work being done,
Yeah,
but I think this is our opportunity, and especially it's hard after almost 5 years, to go back to the drawing board. But again, we have very good, cast of characters and some great leaders. So I think that's the first message. Let's come together. Let's make this fun and more successful event for the club, because I think that's the foundation, and the cricket will follow.
correct.
Overall message, I think even we have three visiting teams: Challengers Cricket Club, and then NECC, and
Grantham Eagles.
Eagles. I think for
Yep.
message for them is, I think this is a great tournament. They will have a lot of fun. Also, I think this will give them good practice because MSCL season is going to start last weekend in April. That's a
Yeah.
great platform for them to play some good competitive cricket. And lastly, I think for all 6 teams, play hard, play fair, have fun, right? And I think that's the message. So,
Nice, nice. That's a wrap, Deepak bhai. I thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed the conversation as much as I did.
oh,
And again, thank you.
very good, Kamal. All right, take care. Bye
Thank
bye.
you.